And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dr. Sem Yankees Show. April the 18th, 2026. Right now, the Yankees are playing the Kansas City Royals. It's the bottom of the third as I record this, and there's no score. Remember last week we brought the show to you from numbers under 200. Today we're going to bring you the show with numbers under 100 in a special and unique way. But before we get to any of the Yankee talk, let's make today a great day. And how do you make your day great? You already know the answer. You look around and you notice the good. You see the good things in your life and you appreciate them. You take them into your heart and you say, my goodness, there's a lot of good in my life and I should be appreciative. One of the greatest attributes of people is when they are grateful. When you are appreciative, when you're grateful, you can't help but find the good. You can't help but have good days. But I know, I hear some of you out there, Dr. Sem, it's bad. Worst day ever. Worst month ever. Worst year ever. I get it. There is no good. I disagree. There's good. There is good even in the worst situations. Sometimes it's very hard to see that good, but it's there. But if you can't find any good, make some yourself. Find something you can do for someone else. Create good. And when you create good, there is good. Just a reminder as well that this show is brought to you by Artemisia Publishing. Artemisia is an independent traditional publisher located in the good old United States of America. They have a wide selection of fantastic books across a plethora of genres. Go to apbooks.net and check out their great selection of great books. If we have time, I'm going to share a chapter from my newest book, getting rave reviews, The Greatest New York Yankees by uniform number. Some of the other books that Artemisia has published, of course, Roy White, From Compton to the Bronx, The Least Among Them, the greatest novel ever written. If you have not read Scattering the Ashes, your life is incomplete. Complete your life. Make your life one that is complete, that is fulfilling in every way by reading Scattering the Ashes, or even better yet, get the audiobook and you can hear me narrate this entire novel. I did the audio recording for it. And the most popular book of mine of late just got the first quarter sales for 2026. And this book is just killing it right now. 365.2 Going the Distance, A Runner's Journey. Take a listen. This is a good one. Take a listen. You want to hear this story of this great book. Of course, there's one other book that I did not publish with Artemisia. This book was published at Sunbury. And this also, West Point at Gettysburg, Volume 1, A through G, is getting rave reviews as well. All my books get rave reviews. But, listen, my dear friend, sometimes people say, what do you know about that? You can't do that. Every major leaguer was once a little kid who said, someday I'd like to be a big league baseball player. And there were people who said, you can't do that. That's not going to happen. But it did. You have to work for things. But when I started writing books, people told me, like, what do you know about writing? You're a school principal. What do you know about writing books? You're not an author. I'm not an author, huh? And there's plenty more to come. I'm telling you, we just keep, me along with the publisher, we just keep cranking them out, baby. That's something to be pretty, proud of. I'm sometimes it's like, I wrote all that. That's great, but it's hard work. It takes a lot of time. It takes years, but it's good stuff. So check it all out. My friends, also go to the greatest Yankees site in the world, startspreadingthenews.blog. Start spreading the news. We put up articles every day at 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 2 o'clock. Of course, if there's a game during the day, the 2 o'clock article gets preempted for the game thread. If not, we add the game thread for all the night games. People log in, give their opinions of what's happening, and it is the greatest, the most active Yankee site out there, at least the most active and greatest one that isn't funded by some giant network. There's other ones, and they put out articles, and some of the articles you read and you go, that's just AI. That's never happened, and that will never happen. We write all our own stuff, and I've got a great staff of writers who bring you all sorts of great content. Yankees are now in the top of the fourth. There is no score, but there's an interesting statistic, and it's called ERA plus. And if your ERA plus is 100, you're a league average pitcher. I like ERA plus and OPS plus because it normalizes everything around 100. If you're above 100, very easy to understand. Some new stats, you say, I don't even know what that means. You look at WAR, and I like WAR, but you look at WAR and you go, well, he has 4 WAR. Is that good? Is that bad? But OPS plus is simple. I don't know how they figure it out. That's not simple. I don't know what they're doing. The mathematics behind it, I don't get it. But when you get the number, when they publish the number, the people who figure these things out, the statisticians, it's very simple. OPS, ERA plus, OPS plus. If it's 100, that's league average. If you're above 100, you're doing better than league average. If you're way above 100, you're doing really well. And if you're below 100, you're below league average. And if you're way below, you're way below league average. Give you some examples for the Yankees right now this season. OPS plus, Ben Rice, 230. He's killing it. How do you know he's killing it? Young season, 5 home runs, 14 ribbies, 327 batting average, 14 walks already, an OPS of 1.16. He's slugging close to 700, slightly above, and his on-base percentage is just about he's getting on base 45.7% of the time. But then you look at Jazz Chisholm, who's having a terrible year. He's hitting 179. He has 0 homers, just 3 runs batted in. His OPS plus is 47. That's pretty terrible. Worse, Ryan McMahon, 119 batting average, no homers, 2 ribbies, a slugging percentage of 119. His OPS is 379. Terrible. And his OPS plus, 12. Cody Bellinger right now, a league average hitter. His OPS plus is 100. Aaron Judge, 158. You get the idea. If it's way down, like Ryan McMahon, he's doing terribly. If it's way up, like Ben Rice, he's doing great. Now, let's look at the pitchers. ERA plus, Max Fried, 143. Cam Schlittler, this is all before the game last night, 172. Ryan Weathers is right on. He's 100, right league average. Will Warren, I'm surprised he's way up at 175. That's surprising to me. Luis Heel, who pitched 2 games and does not look good, his ERA plus is 63. All right. I'm going to get to a number in a second, but before we do that, let's see what's happening. Top of the fourth, no out, 1 out, and nobody on. So, my dear friends, as we look at OPS plus, for most of the Boone era, until last year, one of the strengths of the Yankees, even if they didn't have big names, was the bullpen. He seemed to be able to manage the bullpen, and the Yankees bullpen did relatively well, it seemed, year in and year out. Last year and this year, the bullpen has not been good. halfway through last year, if you want to say that the trade deadline's a little past halfway, a bit past halfway, maybe 2/3 of the season in, at the trade deadline, the Yankees went out and they brought in 3 top relief pitchers to solidify the Yankee bullpen. Brian Cashman was heralded from sea to shining sea for his great work in solidifying the Yankee bullpen. And as I said, today's show is brought to you by Numbers Under 100. David Bednar, who I actually am a big fan of. I'm a big David Bednar fan. My oldest and my youngest sons, I have 3, both attended the wonderful college, Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania. In that same era that my sons were attending Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania, home of Larry Holmes, the Easton assassin, David Bednar was going to Lafayette College. Now, I don't know David Bednar. My kids don't know David Bednar, but he's a fellow grad of Laf. He's a Lafayette grad. I like him. I'm rooting for him. I want David Bednar to do great. But David Bednar has an ERA plus before last night's game of 94. 94. That's not an even league average. It's close, but he's not even a league average pitcher this year. And for a guy who everyone says is going to be the closer, and I like him, I'm a big fan. I think he's got guts. I think he's got moxie, but it's not as if he's been a great pitcher for the Yankees. Obviously, ERA plus 94. He was one of the big 3 that was brought in to save the day, solidify the bullpen. The other guy the Yankees got was a guy named Camilo Doval. Camilo Doval has a 7.36 ERA. He's pitched in 9 games. He's pitched 7 innings. He's allowed 8 hits. He's walked only 1. He struck out 7. But his ERA plus, 60. 60. 6-0. That's not bad. That's very bad. All right, so Brian Cashman 0 for 2, but listen, he brought in 3 guys. He brought in 3 at the trade deadline, 3 relief pitchers. The third guy he brought in is now pitching in the minor leagues. His name, Jake Bird. His ERA plus 57, 8 games, 7 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs. 7.71 ERA and an ERA plus of 57. Ugly. That's ugly. That is bad. So Camilo Doval's ERA plus was 60. Jake Bird's is 57. Jake Bird, who didn't stick with the Yankees very much after the Yankees got him and spent much of the year last year in the minor leagues. Not good. Bottom of the 4th now. With the Yankee game, it's the mid-4th. As I click on it, still no score. Yankees having trouble scoring runs, and then they have trouble with their pitchers and their bullpen holding leads, and even their starters being able to go deep enough into the games. But Bednar, below average pitcher. Doval, below average pitcher. Bird has now been sent to the minor leagues twice after the Yankees acquired him at the trade deadline last year. And, of course, the other guy the Yankees got is Ryan McMahon, who they have to pay $16 million this year and next year. And next year. And what did I say his OPS plus is this year? What was it? When 100 is league average? What? It's just crazy. His OPS plus is 12. 12. You know what people say, and I'm exaggerating because you have to have a little fun. We can't take this all too seriously. Baseball is a game. It's supposed to be fun. But you know how people say, like, I could have an OPS plus in the major leagues. Just give me a bat. I can do any worse than him. You know, the average pretty good ball player could probably not do very. I don't think he can do much worse than 12. Yet last year at the trade deadline, Brian Cashman was praised from sea to shining sea. I wrote a critical article at the time saying, I don't quite get it. I don't see like the Yankees. Yankees didn't bring in Cy Young, Hank Aaron, Tom Seaver, and Bob Gibson, or they didn't bring in Mariano Rivera, Whitey Ford, Raleigh Fingers, and Lee Smith. They brought in Ryan McMahon, David Bednar, Camilo Doval, and Jake Bird. And none of them are really doing all that well. In fact, they're doing terribly for the most part. And Bednar needs a couple of good outings, I would assume, to become league average. Like, at some point, and again, I've said this a million times, I think Brian Cashman, by and large, has been a very good general manager. I think he was great in the beginning. But he has been the Yankee general manager now for, I think the last I checked, 14,000 years. And in leadership, there's a time when your approach grows stale, and Cashman's approach has gone stale. It's been stale. When he retires, he deserves a plaque in Monument Park. He did great work for the Yankees. He has made the Yankees perennial winners, not champions, but winners. They win every year. They're always over 500. They're always in a pennant race. They never win. They never win championships because his methods don't work anymore if the goal is to win the World Series. And that should be the goal. But people praise the work he does. And then you have to look at it. And you have to say, like, well, that's the work he did. That's what everybody said was great last year. Oh, my goodness. Look what he did. He solidified the team. They didn't win the World Series last year, and they're playing poorly this year. Quick update. What's happening? 0-0, no outs, bottom of the fourth. All right. So you get the point. Like, for the Yankees to get to the next level, they need some radical changes of approach, of philosophy. The manager needs to go. I've said this a million times for a long time. Aaron Boone has managed the Yankees longer than anybody else since they started winning championships without ever winning a championship. No one else has gotten this many chances, this much rope. And yet they keep running him out there. And we see bad mistakes. We see games that he loses. He sends up J.C. Escarra to pinch hit. He leaves Randall Grichuk in a game late to bat. He leaves Paul Goldschmidt on the bench. Not saying Goldschmidt would come through, but he's a better bet than J.C. Escarra and Randall Grichuk. It's just, we see this year after year, bringing in Nestor Cortez in a World Series game. We see him getting befuddled and confused on the bench when things are happening quickly. You see him looking around. The Yankees hired him out of the broadcast booth. He had never had any experience at any level running a ball club. And they said, that's a good idea. We're going to take the guy who's never done this and give him the New York Yankees. And let's see if he wins. And of course he didn't, and he hasn't. And it's frustrating because he hasn't really ever seemed to grow as a manager. You don't ever hear the other team going, well, you know, the Yankees have a lot of good players. And also one of the big problems is trying to outmanage that Boone guy. That Boone guy is always a step ahead. I mean, Yankee fans who pay close attention see that he's usually a step behind. The Yankees are reactive rather than proactive. And they're really not going to win anything unless there's a radical change of approach. Cashman's magic has worn out. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. He was a great general manager. He did great things. But guess what? Babe Ruth was a great ball player. You don't want him playing right field anymore. Reggie was a great ball player. Derek Jeter was a great ball player. People have shelf lives. And that goes for players, that goes for managers, that goes for general managers. And it's time for the Yankees to get serious and say, we need a new philosophy. Now, they might win the World Series this year. They might. And then you say, Paul, you're so wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. And I don't even know that if they win the World Series, that disproves what I've been saying, because it's been since 2009 since they've won a World Series. How many more seasons do the Yankees have to fail to win a World Series before the owner and the general partner say, you know what, it's just, this is not working? Or they should say, our goal is no longer to win the World Series. Don't try to sell your fans on most championships. We're always in it to win it. Our goal is the World Series. If we don't win the World Series, it's a failed season. If you don't believe that, and you don't act to make that happen, well, then don't say it anymore. Say the Yankees make tons of money. We're all very happy because what we're doing is making tons of money. And God bless you. I think that's great. They should make tons of money. I want the owners to make money. I want Brian Cashman to make money. I want the players to make money. Sure, spread it around. Let them all become super rich. I'm all for it. I have no problem with that. But don't tell me, as a fan, and every other of the millions of fans, our goal is a World Series championship. It's a failed season unless we get one. And then run out the same team with the same leadership year after year with the same approach that's not working, and say, we care about winning. No, you really don't. If you cared about winning, there'd be a different approach eventually. We'd see something different. You'd hold Brian Cashman. You'd hold Aaron Boone accountable. Again, I think Cashman did a great job. I don't think he's done a great job in a long time. If the goal is to win championships, if the goal is to be competitive, he's phenomenal. If the Yankees give him the truth serum and you say, what's your biggest goal, Yankees? Hal Steinbrenner, what do you want the most? Do you want the Yankees to win the World Series? Or do you want them just year in and year out to be a team that's in the hunt and they have a chance every year for an exciting October, but they're never the best. There's always weaknesses. If the goal is, we just want to have a very good team, be a little slightly better than the competition, well, then the structure is working. Then it works great. Then you should never fire these guys. And they haven't been fired, which means to me that they feel that the structure they're using works. Right? It's working. The Yankees are competitive and the Yankees make tons of money. It works. And that's great if that's the goal, but then tell us that's the goal. Be honest. Say, Yankee fans, we're not going to spend over this amount of money. And the Yankees aren't cheap. They spend money, but they cut corners while spending a lot of money. But we're going to go to a certain number. We're not going to go over it. If we need to go over it to make ourselves the best possible team like the Dodgers do, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're going to be a very competitive team. And we hope sometimes that we win the World Series, but that's not our goal. Our goal is not to win the World Series. Tell me that. Be honest. And then you can say, you know what, Brian Cashman's doing a phenomenal job because that's what they do every year. But if you're telling me that the goal is to win the World Series, then he is not doing a great job. Right? This is not rocket science. Speaking of rocket science, in the bottom of the fourth, Bellinger singled, Stanton struck out, and then Ben Rice. What were we talking about, ladies and gentlemen? Ben Rice looks like he hit a 364-foot home run, which also scored Cody Bellinger. You know what I miss? John Sterling. I loved John Sterling. I know he got old, as we all do. You know, he moved on from what he was doing because he realized he wasn't quite at the top of his game anymore, as he shouldn't have been. He's 88 years old, or he will be 88, I believe, on July 4th. But I miss prime John Sterling. When I saw that Ben Rice had a home run, what went through my head? The pitch. Swung on it, driven to deep right. It is high. It is far. It is gone. A home run. Ben Rice. And then I'll have something, I don't know. Rice cooks one. And the Yankees, the ever-resilient Yankees, have taken a 2-0 lead. I just miss that. I miss John Sterling and the John Sterling calls. They were the best. I know people thought it was hokey. It wasn't. It was great. It was a pleasure to listen to Sterling call a game. Loved it. Maybe someday we should do all the great Sterling calls. You know, just look them up somewhere, find a list, and just remember them. You're on the mark, Teixeira. It's a thriller by Godzilla. The pitch. Bernie Williams swings. There it goes to deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Bernie goes boom. You know, it's just that I miss that. I wish he'd never retire. I wish John Sterling would live forever and be able to call games like that. So I see Ben Rice homer. The only thing going through my head is a Sterling Ben Rice home run call. Well, good stuff. The Yankees are winning. They're very competitive. See? If that's the goal, they're doing great. If the goal is to win a World Series, they're not. Oh, my dear. My goodness. All these great books. So many of them. Not enough time ever to read them all. Yes, there is. There's enough time for me to write them all. You should buy at least a copy for yourself. You should buy at least copies for your 20 or 30 or 40,000 closest friends. I was going to read you from this one. And we just run out of time every week. So one of these days, I'll get to it. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Let's hope the Yankees win. Let's hope they get on a hot streak because it's been a miserable 11 games until tonight. Maybe tonight turns it around, though I do not believe there's a thing called momentum that has any superpower staying power that people think it does. But anyway, if you win one game, then you just go out there and you can win the next one and you can get on a roll and good things maybe can happen that way. All right, my friends, have yourself a wonderful day. Look for the good, cherish it in your heart, keep things in perspective. The Yankees and all of this is just fun. It's good. It's entertainment. You can be passionate about it. But remember, there are more important things in life than the Yankees, like family, friends, all sorts of things. Love, God. Have yourselves a wonderful day. And I'll be back again on Monday night with Dr. E.J. Fagan of the Start Spreading the News Yankees podcast. Have a great day.